Aha!
Hi everybody, it's fuel tank fun time. I thought I'd run you through what we're doing on this mini Micra conversion. I've got a couple of tanks kicking about. They both look the same. I've got this one here. This is I think a 7.5 gallon, which is, what did I write down? 34 litres. The smaller ones are 5.5 gallon and they're 25 litres. But I haven't got one of the smaller ones and I don't really want one. But I got this one, which is the 7.5 gallon, and I've got this one, 7.5 gallon. The only difference is that this one's off a carburettor car. It looks the same. The only difference really is on the non-carburettor cars, i.e. the fuel injection cars, the MPIs and SPIs. Again, like I say, it looks the same. You've got the sender unit which goes in there, which tells you how much petrol you've got on your dashboard. And at the top, which you haven't got on the carburettor ones, is the fuel pump inlet. So in there you would fit the, and I've got one here, as if by magic. So this is the fuel tank setup, which would fit in there. You've got your fuel pump wiring, and then attaching onto the bottom of the pipes, because you have got wiring going into the fuel tank, which freaks me out. But you've got this pump, and basically electrical signal to the pump, pumps the fuel up the pipe, and any fuel which doesn't get used engine side gets returned and squirts back into the fuel tank. So you've got a loop, but on carburettor cars that loop doesn't happen. You've just got a single line on carburettor tanks, with the pump dragging the fuel out of the tank. But on the one we're dealing with, I think this tank is off a SPI, and because it's off an SPI, this pump isn't up to the job. But we are going to be using the feed pipes to get the fuel out of the tank. So yeah, I'll still be using that, sucking the fuel up that pipe, firing it back in when it doesn't get used. But my pump's going to be external to the tank, so none of this wiring is needed in this area here. So I need to keep that. I can chuck that or keep it if anybody wants it. What I haven't got on this tank I'll be using is the sender unit, so I need to get it off. I need to get it off this tank, which is here, and there's the two contacts for the electrics there. So I need to unwind that and get that float level thing, sender unit, off. Most people attack this with a hammer and a screwdriver and try and knock these tabs to rotate it. The little trick is use a old thermostat housing off a mini engine. It's got 3 holes in it, it's got 3 tabs, and for some bizarre reason they line up. So use it as a spanner and turn it out. There we easy that is to do off. So that's the locking ring off. If it'll come off. And then you've just got to break the seal on that, because there'll be a rubber seal around that. So let me just get a persuader. Let's just see if we can get that off. There we go. Must be an art to getting these out. There we go. Doesn't look in too bad condition. So you can always test these by putting a meter across the two electrical contacts there, moving that up and down and see if the resistance changes. But yeah, we'll use that. Let's have a look in here. Yeah, clean. But a nice layer of rust in there. And there's that single outlet pipe which is rotted off. Yeah, that's rotted away. So yeah, we've saved the sender unit out of there, so this is redundant. I'm not going to be using that. Get rid of that. Now this SPI tank, which I got from, I think I got it from Bingley Hall Mini Show. I think I've had it for over a year now. It said £150 complete on it, but I think I got it at the end of the day. Can't remember what I paid. I think it was less than 100 quid. I think I got it for half price. But it looks clean on the outside, but on the inside there was some areas of rust. Not many, just a few you could see, but I think the biggest problem with, I don't know what the technical term is, but if I use the word calcified, the whole inside of the tank was covered in this kind of crusty, milky coloured sort of calcium almost. I don't know whether that's fuel that's evaporated and left some kind of crispy coating on the inside, but last thing I wanted was to fill this tank up, get debris of bits of rust and that calcium coating. So I've attacked the inside of this with various tools to try and get it clean. I will put some footage of me using, well maybe I won't, what I might do is put some footage up of what this tank looked like during this process. But this is something you won't be able to do on the carburettor tanks because there's no real access. But you've got some access through the fuel pump hole there to clean it. And what I used was, wherever the frickin' hell it's gone, I did have it. Okay, I'm constantly putting things down. Yeah, so what I used was this. So it's a double drill bit extension bar, which are available everywhere, and on the end I used a brass wire brush of looking like that, and I also use this kind of almost totally worn down disc version of it, because that can fit in through both these holes, the hole in the pump and the sender hole as well, and I was able to get in there and go around as best as I could, breaking all those flaky bits off. Took a while, as you can imagine. I had to shine a torch in there at the same time while holding that and trying to see what I was doing, so it was pretty awkward, but in a peculiar, sad way, I quite enjoyed doing it. What did I do then? I constantly hoovered stuff out. I blew it out occasionally with the airline as well, which just covered me in dust. I attacked some bits with a big long scratchy screwdriver, and then once I was happy that everything was loose in the tank, or I'd hoovered it all out, I then sprayed in some brake cleaner. I then used my big long stick with some brake cleaner on and got inside and wiped everything as clean as I could do, and that looked a little bit like this here. And then once it was clean, I then sealed it. And what did I use? Shall I get up again? I didn't use petrol tank sealer. Oh no, that would be far too simple. I used this rust converter stuff, which I've got an absolute bucket load of here, and I poured some of that in there, and with my double extended brush got in there and used some of the converter to seal the tank. And then instead of the tank being swimming with rust converter floating around, because I kind of tipped it all over the place backwards and forwards, I got another cloth and I went in it inside and basically wiped out any residue, and now it looks like this, which is cool. So yeah, I've managed to save the tank. I can now fit a new gasket and a locking ring for the sender, which is now there. And I've just ordered, because I've been told there is one and there wasn't one on this tank, is a gasket, a rubber gasket which seals that onto the tank, and it connects by these 6 M6, I think, M6 nuts. Breather pipe there, strap it into the back of the car, and then we can look at setting up this external fuel supply and return. But that'll be on the next video. I want to get this taped up and in the car, then we can have a look at fuel pipe connection and fuel pump, fuel filter, all that type of thing, which should be fun. So there we go, that's the tanks. Yeah, another job ticked off. Horrible job cleaning that out, but I don't know how much that costs now, but yeah, save something else from the parts bin. Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep watching, thumbs up if you can, subscribe if you're not, and I'll catch you on the next one.